Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Week 9 NFC Roundtable. Mike Sadors. With me is Anderson Hanna, I Candy Anna, and Jerry. Go Niners. Christian, Mike Stout. Mike, oh, you got to get out of here real quick. So you want to give us your public service announcement, if you will?
Oh, yeah. We got a public service announcement. Listen, people, very careful. You see railroad tracks, you stay away from the railroad tracks. This Monday night on October 31st, I had a guy that I hit and killed because he was walking on the railroad tracks. We cannot stop the train on a dime, like a car can stop. Please, for the love of God, stay off the railroad tracks. There's people on the engines, human beings on the engines. We take this stuff seriously. We don't want to kill people. We don't want to hurt people. So that's my public service announcement for us. Why I say that, I got to go to work.
Right.
So hopefully I don't, people stay off the track. So you guys have a good show and discuss how you guys are 500. And I'll sit really well with my Cowboys and second place. Better than all your teams.
Some of us aren't 500, but I appreciate you coming on, man. Be safe today, all right?
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. That's a rough transition there, but that's definitely something to, I don't know, address, I guess. I can't imagine, but.
And really, if you're having some sort of an issue, talk to somebody. There's suicide prevention hotlines and things like that, and you have to also consider the fact that not only you're affecting your life and your family's life, but the people that unfortunately are in the situation that Mike finds himself in. So, he and his family, of course, are having trouble. He's trying to work through it and things like that. But just by all means, I think that was one of their anthems, suicide prevention. I think one of their anthems, wait till tomorrow.
Right.
Something to that effect. So, but instead of talking about, football does seem kind of secondary, but at least we gotta somehow get our minds in a better place, I guess. So
yeah,
I just feel bad for him because all that stuff, and then on top of it, he's a Cowboys fan.
I always count on Jerry. At least we're not throwing bouquets at him like we were the last few weeks. So, I mean, back to normal, right? No more handling style with kid gloves, Jerry. Oh, the Cowboys are great. And then him responding, oh, I love the Niners.
I'd like to say that it was always a one-sided thing. It was never, oh, the Cowboys are great. No.
So, a lot going on this week. I mean, there's quite a few NFC teams on the bye. We got the Niners and most of the NFC East are on a bye this week.
There's no football today.
There is a big game up north, I guess. I mean, not really big game, but you got 2 new toys and new homes up in Chicago this weekend. It's actually the Windy City again. This week's wind has been brutal.
Historically speaking, the story behind the Windy City is actually, people from New York coming for a visit and saying, oh, you guys are touting Chicago so much, with all that hot air. It's kind of like a windy city.
All right, then. So Windy City is living up to its name this weekend. I mean, seriously, I had a full tree of leaves, yesterday, and I go out this morning, and I got to start work right after the show to get the yard back to green instead of rusty brown from all the dang leaves. But so you got Claypool up in Chicago, and you got Chubb down in Miami. That's going to be – I mean, I don't think you'll see much Claypool just because it's hard to get an offense so diverse as the Bears.
Are you telling me that I don't even get the intro?
We're not even going there yet. I'm just talking about games, man. Talking about games.
You're acting like a Packers fan.
Down in Raymond James Stadium this weekend, we got a game between 2 teams that were dominant last season in the playoffs.
Who was dominant in the playoffs?
No, they were dominant in their divisions last year, then went to the playoffs. All right. And now they're both struggling to stay alive in the playoff picture. You got Tampa hosting the Rams. It's a must-win game for both teams, I think. But who do you think it's more of a must-win for? I mean,
Bucs.
you think it's for the Bucs? See, I was thinking maybe the Rams because that division's kind of getting
when
away.
When you look at it like that, but I think if the Bucs lose this game,
I don't think they'd be able to make the playoffs if they end up losing this game. Really,
you don't think they will, or you do think they will?
I really don't think they will. The season's half over. You have Tom Brady, who he might still be in pretty good shape, but obviously the stress of outside of football and things like that might be getting to him a little bit, and his performance is off. Granted, you have even like Mike Evans, for example, he's off. It's like Tom Brady's situation is affecting everybody, and that's of course a collective thing. And I don't know.
I'm not sure it's Brady's situation that's affecting everything, but you lose a lot of your offensive starters early on in the year or just in the preseason. And now you're trying to gel a team together, and it just hasn't happened. You got a quarterback that's the leader of your offense who's not leading at the present time. But I really think that if the Bucs lose today, you got Carolina facing the Bengals, and the Bengals can easily win that game at Cincinnati. You got the Falcons facing the Chargers. Granted, both their wide receivers are out, but I think that I don't want to say it's more of a must-win for the.
I'm not saying it's a must-win from a standing standpoint. Is like, oh, now they're too far behind. I think if the Bucs lose this game, you start to lose the locker room. Guys start getting frustrated with each other, and just downward spiral from there.
I really don't think this is terrible to say, but I don't think Bowles ever had the locker room.
I'm saying internally, players.
Oh, okay. I was going to say because you keep a guy like
mad at the guy next to you because he didn't make the play, and you're frustrated.
Right. No, I get that. It's just I don't know. This is a weird game for both teams because the Rams. They're in a tougher division, let's be honest. The NFC West is a tougher division than the South. So, but we can dive more into that as we get to the better part of the show. So, but yeah, Andy, we got some games up north. You want to
we'll do this filler segment here?
Yeah.
That's why he just drops the ball. He doesn't.
So, yeah, Andy, you ready to go north? I say we go north. North it is. God. All right. NFC North, Andy. You basically got two games today, right? With Packers, Lions, and then Dolphins, Bears, right? Vikings are on the bye, aren't they? No, they play the Commodores.
I don't know. Go ahead. You got it.
No, I'm just asking because I honestly thought the Vikings were on a bye, and then it's like, no, they play the late game.
So you got a couple things going on. They, of course, acquired a fellow by the name of Claypool, Chase. Apparently, he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, wide receiver. He's going to be a number 2, quite possibly. He might be a 1A, for example, with the Bears' wide receiving core. So you have Justin Fields, the offensive juggernaut, which is Justin Fields. Oddly enough, it's kind of weird to say. But then, unfortunately, the defense was, lacking a little bit when they played. Anyway, so they ended up, of course, going up just short by like 20 or something like that. But anyway. The Bears have a few things going on, of course. You have, of course, Chase Claypool, wide receiver. You got A.J. Klein that they also picked up in the Roquan Smith trade with Baltimore. And you also have our rookie linebacker Sanborn, who's actually looking to possibly old number 57. Everybody, Chicago knows 57, old recruits. But it's going to be one of those things where I think the Bears are probably going to end up, they're going to need some time to gel. But Claypool's probably going to end up having a fairly good game. 1 to 3 catches, probably 15, 18, 30, 50 yards. Who knows? He might even be able to get open and get some yak.
You can't throw the ball to a wide tackle. That's what the Bears call their receivers
because they all block.
Well,
Bears doing Bear stuff. Go out and get a receiver for a team that doesn't pass.
Granted, but wide receiver in like San Francisco is a completely different meaning. So with the idea of the Bears having a wide receiver, possibly a short up defense, and conceivably special teams that are, well, not horribly mediocre, they very well may actually end up pulling this game out. Because you, of course, have our friends in Miami. Tua, hopefully he's back from his ankle injury, fully back from his ankle injury. Whatever ankle injury that may have been. He does, in fact, have a few receivers that he can get to. With this kid, even at Alabama, you give him any time, and he's going to pick you apart. He really is. He's not Patrick Mahomes-esque to the point where he's going to be able to do magical things, but he does pretty well. So the Bears have a pretty good shot of actually beating the Dolphins today. So, and I believe it's at home. So you have a cold weather team and a brisk outdoor, and you have a fair weather team, warm team that's actually going to be coming into. So it's going to be one of those things.
So you're looking at the Roquan trade, right? You get AJ Klein. I really think that makes that deal that much better for the Bears. He's going to step right in and play.
So I was actually hoping to kind of cover this a little bit later, but basically what you actually have now, I was kind of upset with the whole Roquan Smith. Him and Robert Quinn, of course, both of them have now departed, but they were actually kind of the Bears' heart and soul of the defense. Roquan Smith, he was almost like your typical linebacker for the Bears, as you have your front line here who's actually taking people up, and you have Roquan who can move back and forth. Even though he might get cleared out every now and again by a quarterback, what ends up happening is you actually get rid of Robert Quinn. I say get rid of because what they got in return. You end up getting rid of Roquan Smith, again, because of your return. So the Bears are setting themselves up for the future very, very nicely. It was a very, very small, minuscule little win. It's no big deal. But
anyway, so
what ends up happening is now the Bears have multiple drafts in multiple rounds in next year's draft. A couple of first, couple of seconds, couple of thirds, couple of fourths, that kind of thing. And they're going to have over $100 million of salary cap. So the Bears have an opportunity.
130.
Yep. So the Bears have an opportunity to be able to actually redevelop their team really from the base up and actually have themselves, I don't want to say a contender right away, but looking in the future, conceivably, Westside.
3-year plan.
That's a possibility too. Ryan James may not be the most popular, but at the time, you can at least see what his end game would be, and it's kind of exciting to see.
Well, what's nice about it is you saw him step right into the second stage of his plan. So he's getting rid of talent, but he's stockpiling picks. But he's not pushing all talent away. He's bringing a guy like Claypool in who's young, who can take the top off of defense, who you can give a playbook to, and he's really going to only run 2 routes. Sad as it is, he's going to run your post, and he's going to run your fly. He's not going to be your quick drag over the middle receiver. He's not going to be your quick out. He's there to take the top off the defense.
Right, which is actually one more route than Mike Evans usually runs.
But the Bears are going to do Bears stuff when it comes to using those draft picks, and they're going to go out and get a punter in the first round, a long snapper, and a 4th-string quarterback from the XFL.
Yeah, Deshaun, the only reason I say a 3-year plan, Deshaun Tisdale says he thinks they're fast-tracking a 3-year plan, is because at the start of the year when they signed Poles, and I saw what he did in the draft, then looking at Aaron Rodgers' situation in Green Bay, looking at Kirk Cousins' situation in Minnesota, in 3 years, you're looking at Justin Fields as the best quarterback in that division.
Yeah, even with Kirk Cousins.
In a new stadium, right?
They will be in Arlington Heights.
Well, that's kind of the interesting thing with Kirk Cousins and things like that is you got him as like more of a game manager instead of somebody who's going to be like a Rodgers, for example, somebody who's going to be able to actually lead their team directly. Justin Fields could very well be that quarterback. You never can tell simply because it's still early. However, you do in fact have multiple picks in the next year's draft with well over $100 million in cap space that can do. With that saying, as long as they don't do Bears things, which is kind of interesting because that paradigm seems to be shifting a little bit as well. So we'll kind of see how that actually plays out. But I think the Bears actually have an opportunity to actually beat the Dolphins today. Now, quickly with the injury report of Borum, I think is really the only questionable one. I think he's going to what?
In 3 years, Justin Fields will not be on the team. They'll have a different quarterback, and they'll have a different head coach.
No, we're talking about Justin Fields, not Jimmy G, who was with the team, wasn't with the team. He's 2 yards away. He's 16 feet away.
So he's winning. That's why he's not.
Before you go into your injury report, and I want to bring up one fact. This is crazy stat. I got a message the other day from Johnny Dean from NFL Edition. He sends me a message. There's only 2 players in NFL history with 300 tackles. I'll pull it up exactly what he said verbatim. Yeah, with 300 tackles in back-to-back seasons. Do you know who they are?
Smith
and
Ray Lewis.
Yeah, that's crazy though. Everyone is down on Smith in Chicago at times because he's not your stud leader linebacker or what have you, but he's putting up numbers.
See,
and now
you could even talk about like the Ditka thing, with the whole Grabowskis. Blue collar worker goes to work every day and just does his job, doesn't really get the glory. Yeah, you could even say something like that. And I've never had a problem. I've always liked Roquan Smith. He's for the most part, he's football savvy. He's fast. He's pretty, for the most part, tough as nails. I've never had a problem with him, but I can see where the Bears are looking to potentially upgrade the team in entirety.
I don't like the narrative they put on him is when they traded him. The report that came out that they don't trust him.
Right.
300 tackles back-to-back seasons as a linebacker in general is outstanding.
No, I agree. But then with that particular story, the crux of it is, if they don't think his motivation will necessarily be there when you get like a big fat paycheck, and it's understandable. I mean, I personally don't see it necessarily being the case. However, if that's their perception, unfortunately, it's pretty difficult to change your perception.
Yeah, to be fair, a big fat paycheck has changed things in Green Bay, has it not?
It has changed things in Green Bay. Unfortunately, certainly for the worse. You weren't able to sign Devontae Adams and several other players in order to be able to get some sort of receiving core for Aaron Rodgers to throw to, and that's a bit of a problem. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. It's just unfortunately when you don't have those weapons, you can't beat Aaron Rodgers-esque like you customarily are.
Hold on. Well, let's get into your injury report before we go into maybe it's Maybelline.
So Larry Borum, of course, had a little bit of a concussion. So that's, of course, a major thing. He is scheduled to play from last time I remember hearing. Carter, who's also he was also an offensive lineman, guard, illness questionable. Kyler Gordon questionable. Tevin Jenkins, it says unspecified. He's supposedly going to be playing. He actually is rated fairly high in regards to offensive linemen. But I remember saying some time back, with that nasty streak that he has, and apparently that's kind of the word around is the fact that he likes to kind of rough people up, and that's good for an offensive lineman for sure.
Definitely missed that in Tampa. I'll tell you that right now.
Anyway, so there's another game in the North, I guess. If you want to talk about Circle of Suck, harken back to the old Packer Brian. You got the Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions. Lions are 1-6, 1-7. Green Bay is like, I don't know, 2-11. 2-11, whatever the case might be. It simply doesn't matter. And again, you're looking at, well, I don't know. That might be the most uninteresting game in the history of football.
That's how we stop talking about
it. It's just like a San Francisco game. Nobody really cares. It doesn't mean anything.
Packs are favored by 3.5 this game, and Brian has them as his best bet for the week. So we'll get into that later. But
Brian's also on a cruise, highly inebriated. So
the Lions are banged up coming into this week.
The Lions have some issues now, as far as their injury report is concerned. Because it doesn't want to pull up, so we're not quite.
I got you. There. You got a quarterback. Chase Lucas is out. Safety Melon Fanu is out. I think I said that name right. Not sure. Tackle Matt Nelson is out. Cornerback AJ Parker is out. Wide receiver Josh Reynolds is doubtful. Questionable. You got Taylor Decker, Charles Harris, Swift, and tight end Brock Wright. Now you're looking at this, and they have most of their secondary is out again this week. And you have a Lions team that needs a win badly here, and you have a Packers team that isn't playing the best. So,
right. So as far as like the Green Bay injuries, you really only have a couple of players that are already out. Campbell, the inside linebacker, and Jean Charles, cornerback. So you have both secondaries that are kind of banged up a little bit.
yeah.
Detroit had some good things going. Unfortunately, the injury bug has bit them hard. But then you're also playing a Packers team that really, honestly, you don't really have that offensive, onslaught that you're going to get. So,
well, the Packers do get Christian Watson back today. He's supposedly going to play. Lazard is back today. Bakhtiari and Jenkins are both still questionable, but you're going against a depleted secondary. You have your deep threat back. He hasn't played since week 1 in Christian Watson. Lazard's been out since week 3, I believe. Don't hold me to that, but it could be a game where the Packers get right and pick up some momentum going into the playoffs. And I know you hate to hear that, or pick up going to the late edge of the season.
It's a possibility. However, with Bakhtiari down and a few of the other offensive linemen, struggling, quite honestly, struggling. You do have a Detroit front 4, front 5, whichever, that can make some noise. So if they kind of get to Aaron Rodgers early and often, they might be able to not necessarily knock him out of the game, but they're going to definitely get his stride kind of, adjusted, which would really help the Lions themselves. So.
Yeah, if you get Rodgers rattled, he can make mistakes still. So, but Brian did send us a photo of himself on the cruise. Hearing us talk about the game, he wanted me to share this with you guys. So, just thought I'd share that just for you, Andy. It's a good shot because it actually covers Jerry up. We might just leave this on the whole time. I'll just slide over this way. Andy, if you could go that way, we'll be good. Other way. There we go. All right. But anyway, all right.
I wish we could have actually played the music too. Not easy to be green, but so with the Packers in and of themselves, I actually picked them also the old pick 6. I got the Packers over Detroit. Although, you know what? If I'm like taking a nap, if I'm polishing a shoe, if I'm staring at paint dry, it doesn't matter. I'm probably going to do something other than watch that game. So.
One more game, yeah.
So we roll over to our friends in Minnetonka. So you go Minnesota Vikings, which, the NFC North powerhouse, Minnesota Vikings. Anyway.
I think someone said that earlier this year.
Well, that person was probably highly inebriated as well. You really only have a couple players are out. So Jalen Naylor, of course, wide receiver, he's out due to an illness. And Dalvin Tomlinson, his tight end, is also out. You have Cameron Bantzler, who's actually questionable. He's a quarterback. Minnesota is probably still going to end up winning just simply because it's versus, the Commanders?
Oh, thank God you said.
The Commanders are in flux, potentially actually being sold, Dan Snyder or Dave Snyder or whatever.
Dude, I'm playing the Powerball. If we win, we're buying the Washington and gonna change them back to the original name of the Washington Red. All right.
So dumb.
So anyway, you do have some players who are, I personally think with Washington having a bit of an injury bug also. Dotson, wide receiver, Holcomb, linebacker, Mayo, outside linebacker, McKissick, running back, Logan.
No,
Logan Thomas, he's actually, but everybody else is out. I see Minnesota, of course, pulling this one out just simply because Minnesota is a really
better team.
They're a better than mediocre team, and they're going to beat a team who, like the Commanders, who, although it's at home, it very well may end up being another one of those Bears things, and then whatever the case is, that Washington might actually come out and score 35.
Yeah, no. But the Vikings can start running away with this here, right? I mean, you got the if
already did.
Let's say a miracle happens, right, and the Bears lose, and then the Lions win. The Vikings have what, like a three-game lead going into Week 10?
They already have a 3-game lead.
So it'll be 4-game going into Week 10. That's insane.
It's similar like Tampa Bay when you play in a really, really crappy division. Any one victory is actually going to surmount to very, very simply is insurmountable. And Minnesota, unfortunately, they keep winning. I don't know how. It's horrible.
I mean, the Bears and the Bucs do have the same record. So
We do. I'm aware. Trust me, I'm aware.
But oddly enough, if you actually have a game with those two, I would probably pick the Bears. 9 times out of 10. I really would.
Weird. So, anything else you got going on up north before everyone falls asleep?
Yeah, have a base.
Let's go to this commercial for Let's Talk Sports, and then we'll go right to Jerry's boring talk.
The Crüe NFC Roundtable is proud to partner with the Let's Talk Sports Network, available on YouTube, Roku, and Amazon.
Look at that.
I must not have gotten my 7-cent check this month.
It's actually up to 9 cents now. 9 cents.
Look, because you split me and Andy's up and didn't give it to us?
Maybe I'll sign with Nike. Did they just
Since
drop a couple players?
Since we've already cut most of the NFC West out or East out with the Cowboys, Giants being on byes, the Texans the Eagles already beating the Texans and covering the Washington football team in the last segment. We're going to go right to Jerry with the West since the Niners aren't playing. There ain't much to talk about.
All right, listen. The Niners are the best there is. They're the best there ever will be.
You totally botched that.
Plain and simple.
Seahawks cards, Jer. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Seahawks playing the Cardinals in a snooze fest. With Toddler running around and then Geno Smith. I don't know how the hell the Seahawks keep winning. What?
The Cardinals are a better team with Hopkins.
Correct.
I think it stopped today.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Arizona, so that's the only benefit that they have. You don't.
Well, if you look at the injury report, Seattle doesn't have Goodwin Marquise Goodman taking the top off the defense. Geno's not going to have that deep threat, so it's really going to play into them just having to basically run the ball and throw the short dink and dunk against the Cards defense.
I mean, if Metcalf is going to have to go to the facilities halfway through the game again, that might change things. But yeah, I don't. I see that game being pretty close, actually, but I do think the Cardinals win. And then the Rams.
Rams Bucs.
Rams are very upset after losing to the Niners again.
I honestly got to admit, I was hoping the Niners would put more of an injury on them.
That was the best part about that game is that after the game, the Niners reported no injuries for the first time.
Yeah, but neither did the Rams. It didn't help me at all.
Not my goal to help you. So yeah, the Rams will go to Tampa. I think the game's gonna be pretty close, actually, but I don't think the Rams win.
You don't think the Rams win?
No.
That's from your mouth to God's ears, Jer.
The Rams are not good.
The Bucs aren't great.
I know, but I don't think the Bucs continue. Like I said, they can't afford to lose again. Not right now. Maybe, week 16, something like that. But they can't afford another one right now because that locker room will be gone.
Looking at the injury report, the Rams are pretty much healthy though. They come in with just Jake Hummel being out.
It's great. You see
You got
what they did
Aaron
against the
Donald
Niners.
going against the third string guard.
You see what they did against the Niners when they were healthy. They're not that good.
Nick Leverett.
There's no way. There's no way the Bucs win today.
Shut up, Andy.
There's no way.
Did you? Bucs couldn't afford to lose last week. You're right, and they should have won that game. But unfortunately, your coach Byron Leftwich doesn't come off the 3-play scripts that he has and actually make in-game adjustments. But we won't get into that right now.
It could be an aging quarterback. It could be wide receivers that don't yak.
Jensen, where's that? Ryan Jensen in or out? Ryan Jensen is not on the game day roster, so that's an out. But anyway. So you got Bucs winning? You didn't pick the Bucs, I didn't think, did you?
No. Or yeah, no, I did. I got the Bucs.
I don't have you down, actually, you bastard. But
It's the beauty of me making the chart is I don't have to report it to anybody.
what's weird is you make the chart and we didn't get your picks last week till like last second.
Yeah. So
Johnson is back, yes.
three.
I don't believe he's been activated to the game day roster just yet. But all right. Are we done playing in your little boring?
I mean, yeah, I don't really have much because there's no football today. So.
All right, we're gonna go.
Some say there's no football any day for the Niners.
Let's go. South.
And Tampa Bay this year.
NFC South, busy division this week in the league. You got the Chargers going to Atlanta to face the Falcons. The Chargers are going to be without their two key offensive weapons with Keenan Allen out and Mike Williams being out. AJ Terrell is out for the Falcons, but it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. If the Falcons can control the clock, I think they can win this game. Unfortunately, I'm going to go Chargers winning, but I don't feel great about it, and I'm only going Chargers winning because
You don't want the Falcons to win.
yeah, that's about it. That's where we're at.
So let me ask you, how's Cordell Patterson?
He is healthy and expected to play. So that's what I'm saying. If they can control the clock, control the ball.
Is he like kicker this week, or where's he lining up this week?
Yeah,
That's-
he's all over.
That's honestly a good question because they could just try to let Mariota air it out because he's known for such great arm strength and accuracy that no, he's playing running back.
I said,
I mean-
I didn't know if he played defense that one game. You know, I'm worried.
Falcons play so hard to shot. That's funny. That's something like a Southern woman saying, "Oh, bless her heart." Falcons play hard, but they're the Falcons.
I honestly think the Falcons can win this game. I don't.
Bucs fans commenting into the show about how good the Falcons are.
Yeah, because we're realistic sports fans, unlike Niners and Bears fans.
Yeah, licking your wounds. Yeah.
Look, who unlike Niners and Bears fans, you just like blowing sunshine. But
You're blowing
anyway,
something because you're insane if you're on the Bucs bandwagon this year because they're unfortunate. This isn't their year.
I have Bucs clothing older than you, Andy, and that's saying a lot.
Raise your hand if your team doesn't have a losing record. Yeah, that's right.
Anyway,
That's right. Be quiet. Be quiet.
You played in the NFC West.
the Chargers.
Really?
The Chargers are without Keenan Allen, kicker Dustin Hopkins, tight end Ferrum, linebacker Rumpkin, Jerry Tilley, and Mike Williams. Their other wide receiver, DeAndre Carter, is questionable. Falcons, I said, are basically healthy. You're without A.J. Terrell and Elijah Wilkinson, and that's about it. So,
Yeah, Baker Mayfield was lined up at
defensive end. Yeah, that's what it's come to in
It's
Carolina,
3 points
and they beat the Bears, and they beat the Bucs. So,
Well, I think Tim Tebow's still looking for a gig. Maybe he can be a tight end.
let's go to the Panthers versus the Bengals. Hubbard is out for the Panthers.
Panthers got the
safety
best quarterback in your division, right?
Justin Burris is out. Wide receiver Rashad Higgins is out. I expect to see a big game from Deontay Foreman again. He rushed for 118 last week, being the bell cow back for the Carolina Panthers. But they do go against the Bengals, who will be without their biggest weapon, Jamar Chase, and a depleted secondary with both Mike Williams and Awuzie being out. Luckily for them, the Carolina Panthers don't really throw the ball all too much unless they play the Bucs and destroy them, and it's unforeseen. I mean, P.J. Walker playing like Ken Stabler out there in the late 70s, early 80s. But anyway, Bengals over the Panthers, in my opinion, and that's just not because I hate the Panthers, but yeah, it's because I hate the Panthers. All right, let's go.
You know, the Jaguars, the Bengals do have I don't know who's their quarterback out there.
Better than Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Joey B. So
yeah.
You got to think he's doing.
Go ahead.
Last couple of weeks, he's been getting kind of banged around a little bit. And I think this is going to be one of those games. He has the opportunity to actually throw for 300 yards and two or three touchdowns.
But he's without Jamar Chase.
Last year, didn't they lead the league in giving up sacks, and they still went to the Super Bowl?
Very much so. They were 2 yards away from winning the Super. Oh wait.
But seriously, the Bengals are without Jamar Chase. So if you take again, it's just like the Falcons. If the Carolina Panthers can control the clock, control field position, and control the ball, controlling the pace of the game, it's going to play into their favor. Again, this game is winnable, but because I hate area NFC North team, or NFC South team, I just don't want to say anything. And we've already dove into the Rams Bucs, but
I picked the Bucs again because the last 3 weeks I've picked the Bucs, and it's worked great. So I'll take the loss and pick 6 just for the glory of watching the Bucs lose.
Jerry, I hate you. But anyway, the Bucs.
That's the case. Yeah, we'll pick the Bucs all year.
I mean, honest to God, Bucs need to win this game. I don't know if it's a win more for the Bucs or win more for the Rams, but you're going to have to see a lot more of Rachaad White this week if the Bucs are going to be successful. I love Leonard Fournette.
The reason why what?
I love Leonard Fournette, but Rachaad White has basically just flat out outplayed him. You gotta keep the ball in your favor again if you're the Bucs. You got to win on third downs. Guy like Devin White can't have a week like he did the last few weeks. Just pretty much controlled by the offensive line. Last week you saw him 15 yards deep in the secondary, and as a linebacker, as the leader of your team, you've got to figure out a way to disengage blocks. But other than that,
I kind of think that's actually probably a good bet is the fact that it's probably going to be a run, and you're probably going to throw it to medium distance throw, and then that's when the wheels are going to really come off for the Bucs.
Deshaun, when you said with no sweeps to Julio Jones, we complain that Byron isn't creative. And just because you scribble on a piece of paper doesn't make you creative. That sweep to Julio Jones was by far the worst play I've seen all year. And they set it up by running 3 jet motions before that with Julio Jones. My 11-year-old daughter looked at me and she goes, "They're going to give the ball to that guy." How is my 11-year-old daughter dissecting plays and the Bucs can't figure out how to be creative on offense?
Isn't your quarterback heavily involved in the play calling? I believe that was like part of the contract. Was like
you really can't audible out of.
Well, no, I'm saying, didn't he want to be part of the scheme?
He was last year with
PA
and Leftwich. But what's wrong now is you have.
He's just a puppet. He's just there.
But right now you have 2 offensive minds that are agreeing all the time, and no one's there to say, "Hey, that play's not going to work."
Your record is there. It tells you that.
You understand what I'm saying? It's not good to circle. God, I can't even talk. Circle yourself with people who are always going to agree with you.
No, absolutely.
And if you don't get that dissension.
So to answer your question about your 11-year-old being able to dissect plays and stuff like that. So if you look behind you, and of course you said that you also have clothing that's actually older than I am. All you talk is nonsense and craziness. And I mean Bucs talk. So yeah, it's going to rub off. You've probably scarred this poor girl. We have to get her back to the Bears side so we can show her the light.
Is that a bathroom cabinet behind you? Are you in your bathroom?
That is not a bathroom cabinet.
Are you in your bathroom right now?
No, it's not the bathroom.
But
Not
no,
a
seriously.
bathroom.
You have receivers that are elusive.
Yeah, they never see the
You're
field.
just
They're
not
hurt.
giving them the ball in space.
Well,
You're running jet sweeps with Julio Jones, and you have a guy like Scotty Miller who, granted, can't run a route tree to save his life, couldn't find an oak from a palm if you showed it to him. But the man can – he's creative with
you gave the ball
in
to
space.
you gave the ball to Mike Evans in space, right? There was like nobody within like 10 yards of him. Oh, that's right. He dropped it because he would have had to run after he caught it.
What you bash Mike Evans all the time. But I guarantee you, if you had Mike Evans on the 49ers putting up 1,000 yards 8 years in a row, you'd have a photo of him over your bed just so you could sleep at night.
No. The receivers in San Francisco get yak. He doesn't fit the mold.
You're failing to see the offensive juggernaut in the mind of Byron Leftwich. You have like Bill Parcells. Okay, you got like Dan Reeves. You got all those legendary coaches. You know who's going to be up there next? Bill Belichick and all that. Byron Leftwich. He's on the Mount Rushmore of offensive minds because this week. Well, no, I mean maybe not this week, or maybe not next week, but it'll eventually get to the point where you're going to say they were 2 yards away.
2 yards away, Jared. I mean, we could talk trash. I think with this next segment, we're going to let anyone who's won a Super Bowl this decade speak. Okay, so we're back to just me.
Wow, how's that 3 games taste?
Oh, good one. Good one.
You're lucky you got 3 games.
We definitely 100% Bucs are lucky they've won 3 games. They should have lost the Atlanta game. That game could have slipped away very quickly.
Hey, you lost to P.J. Walker.
We did lose to P.J. Walker, and it definitely was not dynamite. I played this last week. I'll show it to you guys again. I don't know if you saw this. Let me see if I can find it.
Here we go.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And don't take with me the memories to be my sunshine after the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
This is what you do with your free time.
Actually, it's what I do with my break time at work.
My God.
I don't have much free time in general. What?
Yeah. So anyway,
Way to kill the show.
Come on, that was funny.
All of our viewers from that.
That was funny. And it's true that they're living on Super Bowl glory, and it's got to stop.
Yeah, I know. You just keep talking about it, and it's like, we get it. It was years ago. My God.
It's not that bad, Deshaun. We're not going bagging. It's not going to happen. We're in a division that's terrible. So hopefully we can scratch and claw our way to mediocre.
keep taking it up. I'll keep putting it up because it's 100% that the Bucs aren't going to win today.
Shut your face.
I picked them. I'm doing my part.
You're a poo-poo head.
Doing my part.
Although Brian's not here, we do have some Brian's best bets. Should we play the intro? Or should I just give them?
Let's play the
You don't get a choice. All right. I'm not Brian. Much better looking and more sophisticated. But
Both
he's
like crappy teams.
his picks have the Panthers +7. Take the Pack, give the 3.5. Take the Raiders, give the 1. Take the Dolphins, give the 5. I mean, he doesn't have much faith in your Bears.
Nobody does.
He is the Packer for a reason. He sucks.
But we're almost out of time. I mean, we got 15 minutes left, but we've ran through everything so quickly because the bye week just kind of kills a lot of the games we should be talking
Well,
about.
football today.
Pick 6.
I'm aware we got pick 6. I'm trying to stall to fill some space, but all right, we'll go pick 6. Let me find it. We'll do this one since Andy.
What? He doesn't have anything to say.
This is the one Jerry loves the most, so we're just gonna use this one.
Wow.
It's only 4 seconds longer than the other intro.
I mean, you pick the intro of the longest pick 6 by the fattest guy. Ridiculous.
Fattest guy.
Yeah. So the slowest pick 6 possible.
Dave Harrison is a walking mound of
I
muscle.
understand, but he's a lot slower than other people.
Yeah, I mean, we had a bunch of Deion Sanders pick 6, but somehow that was in violation of YouTube standards, so I had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Shocking.
But all right. So I'll read Stout's pick 6. Well, actually, Brian's in first place, so I guess I'll give Brian's. Kind of gave his away in his
They're both not here, so they just take L's for the week, right?
Brian's bets. If that were the case, you'd be
What are you trying to say?
all right.
Already
So,
there. Good one.
We got Eagles, Bills, Seahawks, Panthers, Patriots, and Packers.
You know what you should have done? You should have actually taken all of his picks and actually
Flipped them. So, I mean, there's a lot of picks. Some of us were able to get our Eagles pick in time, Andy. You didn't pick the Eagles to win against the Texans. I don't know how you just sleep on that.
I did pick the Eagles.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I just did. No, it was just one of those things where, it's unfortunately for the last 2 weekends I've actually had to work. I actually had to work because normally I don't technically work for a living.
Yeah, Jerry doesn't either. All right, so let's go with Stout's pick since he's in second place.
I haven't worked a weekend in like 15 years.
Eagles, Bills, Vikes, Bengals, Pack, and Ravens. No one's picking the Bears. I don't see a
Oh,
Bears.
somebody did. Somebody did.
Oh, Andy, you can go with yours.
Yeah.
I think I will.
Did you get the Eagles? No, you didn't get that pick in time.
Fortunately, yeah, I picked the Eagles just a few moments ago. Now, fortunately, we still have about 10 minutes left, so it's probably going to take – well, we might end up going over. Just slightly, though. I am going to have to pick the Vikings over the Commanders, simply because, well, they're the Commanders. Bills over the Jets. Now, that one was actually a little bit more tough for me, but, you got to go with the UCF guys over in the Bills. So hopefully the Bills are going to end up beating the Jets, even though it's in New York, well, the greater New York area.
It's
the Patriots
either way, it's in New York.
What?
Either way, that game's in New York.
Well, New
Greater
Jersey.
New York area. No, one's in Buffalo. Duh.
Technically New Jersey.
The Patriots over the Colts. I think it's the Bears. Yeah, Bears over the Dolphins. Can't remind him already. Simply because, well, It's the Dolphins against the Bears. Bears are going to, of course, win the Super Bowl this year, 37 to 12. You got, I believe, the Rams over the Bucs because the Bucs have an absolutely horrible team, horrible quarterback, horrible coach. So anybody over the Buccaneers, and then the Pack over the Lions.
Show us your handwriting. It can't be that bad.
The pork.
Okay, maybe. All right. Stop with the cursive thing. Just give it up. Just
You know what it is? My absolute and utter brilliance. It just slides right at you, and I can't even keep up with my own handwriting. So
Get so discombobulated. Who's in last? Is it me or you, Jerry?
Oh, that's me. Yeah.
Oh, so I'll go. I wasn't sure.
Picking the
I
Bucs,
was.
you know,
I wasn't sure if I was above you or not, but
barely.
I got the Eagles, Chargers, Miami, Bills, Cincy, and the Vikes. It's you, Jerry.
I too picked the Eagles over the Texans.
Why would you pick that game?
I mean, you know, it was a tough one. I was really back and forth.
oh, would you sleep on it?
I'm taking the Chiefs. The Chiefs over the Titans. I got the Bengals. The Bucs over the Rams because I got to keep picking them until they win, right?
Hey, I'm all for it. Hopefully it's today.
That's a touchy. Jeez.
I'm taking the Patriots over the Colts, and then we're all on the Bill.
Hey, did you know it doesn't matter? They're still New York.
I don't know if Jerry froze or he's acting, but well, I'm thinking he froze. Well,
Here.
there you go. But it was such a great freeze. I was going to leave it.
Was it? It just went black screen on mine.
You were froze like eating the camera.
Awesome.
Honestly, Jerry, what does your team have to do to win today? Okay, Andy.
Same amount as the Bucs.
What do you have to do to win today in Chicago?
Control the offensive line of scrimmage. Matter of fact, there's two things. Control the line of scrimmage, which I think they have a good chance of doing. And with their secondary, keep them from throwing a little bit deep because Tua can do that and accurately. So,
Right on. Well, for Tampa, I think we need it.
More points than the other team.
I think we need to have a big game. Have a big game from Nick Leverett. Be creative in our offensive play call. I'm okay with running the ball on first down if you're getting more than 3 yards of carry, but when you're getting 2.6, 2.5, and you're still running the ball on first down 80% of the time, it's not effective. And then you need an offensive onslaught early. You got to score early, and then hopefully your defense can keep you in the game. One comment here we haven't got yet. Agree. D-line definitely needs to show up today. I think Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is although he does play the edge, he's more of a –
You would never bench nachos at a football game. Those are the best things to order.
he's more of a defensive end in this offense or defense right now. And I don't think you need to bench Nacho. He actually creates some chaos. I like Logan Hall. Deshaun, I just don't know if he's heavy enough in the pants right now. I don't think you put him in against a team that's got as good offensive line as the Rams do. But that's just my opinion. I'd rather see someone like Nacho to where he can use his speed and his agility to get through the line of scrimmage. You also got God, I can't even think right now.
Shocker.
Can't think of his name.
Right now or
No, I mean I honestly have a Jerry in the brain right now.
doesn't matter.
thanks, man.
But so yeah, whatever. But anyway, defensive line definitely needs to hold up today. Cam Akers is back, so you will see a different edge to that offense. If he plays well, he might see the ball a lot. If he doesn't come out early and play well, you're going to take him completely out of the game. He's not going to be there. That's all I got. You guys got anything before we disband this group of merry men.
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Good night.